Shalom and good day all, this is Tehillim29 back again for some indie comic reviews, and in these indie comic reviews I'll be covering Kosher Mafia issue 5 along with issue 9 of Redcoat. I'll now get things ready and organised for the first one that I'll be covering. So first things first, does this cover in any way, shape or form connect to something that is happening inside with the story? Sure enough it does, to which I give it a 7.5 out of 10. Now it's time to move in relation to the area of the internal art as we have a look around the beginning, middle, and of course the end. And also what's happening story-wise with the characters. So as the story begins, we return back to Cleveland, Ohio, as we meet the characters Mr. Levison and Mr. Gold, and Howard and that. And what's happening within this story as they take out, I guess, their enemies within the story. Now it's time to move into the area, to the middle of the story. As we jump into the middle of the story, we see things return to one of the synagogues, as well as some of the things that are occurring outside and in different places. And last but not least, towards the end, to which Mr. Gold returns home to his home and family after completing the job that he was asked to do for the Kosher Mafia. So for the internal art, I give it a 7 out of 10. Now it's time to move in relation to the area of the story. So first things first, does it address when things are taking place time-wise, to which we do learn that it's taking place on the 11th of Tishrei, which is actually set in, if I remember, set in September in 1936. Next is the area of the location within the story, which is Cleveland, Ohio, and of course across town is also used. The cast of characters consisting of Mr. Levison, Mr. Gold, and there is also the mention of a golem in relation to sort of like the past, which I thought was really quite interesting to see brought up in the story. And I also wonder if maybe should there be a sequel to this story, that they might actually bring the golem into sort of like a sequel. Now that's Golem, not Gollum, as in Gollum from Lord of the Rings. For the overall story rating, I give it a 7 out of 10. Now it's time to move on to Redcoat issue 9. So as we move into Redcoat issue 9, does this cover in any way, shape or form connect to something that is happening inside with the story? Sure enough it does, to which we have Simon Pure catching up with the character known as Johnny Appleseed, but we do actually get the character's real name within the story, and it's not actually Johnny Appleseed, it's something else. And just the repeat, it's a 7.5 for the cover. Now it's time to move into the area of the internal art and what has also been happening story-wise with the characters. So of course we get a catch-up as to what's been happening previously with the character of Simon Pure, and also some of the things that have been happening within Simon Pure's era. So what has he actually seen in his time, and who has he actually seen in his time? And this is like one of those stories to which we get to meet one of the people that he has met. So moving into the area of the beginning, I quite like what they've done here with the art. Jumping into the area of the middle, and yes, as he does finally catch up with Johnny, I think it's Kaufman or something like that, who gets known as Johnny Appleseed, we get to see how Johnny is actually able to make some of these items grow to the great size that they see. And in some areas, it sort of reminds me a little bit like, I guess, Simon Pure meets James and the Giant Peach. If anyone remembers that movie. And last but not least, towards the end, to which we get a bit of a hint that in the next issue, Simon Pure will be meeting up with Annie Oakley, who was, to which her character is synonymous or connected to, I'm pretty sure you've heard of the story or even the musical Calamity Jane. So, for the internal art, I give a 7.5 out of 10. Now it's time to move in relation to the area of the story. First things first, do we get anything time-wise? Sure enough we do, to which we learned that this takes place in 1816. Next is the location. Of course, it takes place somewhere in the USA. Whereabouts, no idea. It would have been nice to know whereabouts it was taking place. The cast of characters consisting of Simon Pure. Of course, we had the mention of Albert, Arnold. We had the bloody... the cult that he was dealing, the Bloody Benders. And of course, Johnny Kaufman, I think it was, or Johnny Appleseed. For the overall rating, I give it a 7 out of 10. Until then, let's keep it colourful and have yourself an awesome day.